Today, President Yoweri Museveni delivered the State of the Nation address to millions of Ugandans who were eagerly waiting to see and listen to what he had to say. Lots of things and quite a number of conversations rotating around how we shall end corruption, how the budget is going to be implemented, the program-based budget, how the parish development model will continue, helping out Ugandans in regards to its second year of enrollment as a program where the government tends or believes it will be getting Ugandans into the money economy. All that and more is what we've been, trying to digest in here. Now, we're only left with a quick 15 minutes here on the show. As we continue our discussion, I'm still with Mr. Matovu Moses, who is the PRO, Need Uganda, as we understand Uganda's economic development and kind of situation, the backdrop of the State of the Nation address, as you can see the background of what of our setting this evening. But well, as we continue to build onto that, corruption in Uganda has been a very big hindrance to development. We are almost into the what you could call the red zone of the most corrupt countries in the world.
We are ranked 145.
When you look at that for a ranking per se, it is undermining the way we, one, it's undermining public procurement. It undermines progress.
The quality of things you get.
It undermines everything.
Everything.
Besides looking at our economies, struggling as much. Because some of the other countries that are actually struggling with their economy, they're struggling with factors that directly affect the economy.
Yeah.
From the economics.
Yeah.
If you come to think of it, ours are either political.
They are.
Or ideally,
we can give them a term. They are man-made.
Man-made, exactly. So they can be dealt with if we decided to.
Yeah.
But it seems we are comfortable. Now, our corruption tendencies, our corruption cases this year actually took another twist. Members of parliament, ministers, I should say. I would start with the ministers because most of them were members of parliament before turning to ministers. Cases regarding the Iron Sheets saga in Uganda. It went really viral. And as a matter of fact, some ministers were arrested, though later on given bail. So we are asking ourselves questions is, we actually thought there was some strict action that was going to be done since they pleaded guilty. Now, when you come to think of it, it seems it's the order of the day. We know the suspects. We can't do much. They're still in office. And in the next few years, you will see some promotions. Then you ask yourself, are we dealing with the problem or we are covering it up?
When we are beginning our show, I told you corruption is sort of a norm.
That we're used to here.
Yeah. In Uganda, corruption is becoming a norm. Some time back when I was here, I told you some of about 4 individuals in the Kabale district stole about 268 million allocated for the poor, that is for PDM. They stole that money. When they arrested, slept at police for just a day, they had to cough 120 million in cash. They brought back 120 million in cash, and they made an agreement that they be released, go back to their work as they pay in installments. But we all know, those who care, know what the rules of the game when you're a public servant, when you're caught in such a corruption tendency. You know what's supposed to happen to you. You are interdicted. The moment you go to make a statement to police, especially on such cases, you're supposed to be interdicted. But these guys now, as I talk now, they're in their offices. They're working as they pay. Now, what does that signal? I'm telling you, corruption is a norm. You blew this Mabat issue out of proportion. But now when you look at the budget for the Mabati together with the GOTS, which GOTS you have never talked about, it was around 39 billion that was lost in that saga, Mabati and the GOTS. But for Mabati in particular, it's around 5 billion. But it sounded as if it's too huge. And it even covered the GOTS issue, which contained a lot of money. But again, the 39 billion issue compared to the NSSF stuff where trillions are lost, where you have an investment of 17 trillion, but apparently you have less than a trillion less than 5 trillion in the coffers. The money is not there, it is being taken, it is being eaten. And you can talk about that. So, I don't know how Ugandans were made.
But
you pay attention to something less significant
and leave the most important.
The most important issue, yes. But now when you're looking at corruption, I think this is going to be my third time here talking about corruption practices or corruption forms. But when you sum them up, they are politically motivated. Leave alone a few things. Now, the forms of corruption we have tribalism, we have nepotism, we have sectarianism. All these are politically motivated, right? Leave alone influence peddling. Now, then the other form is embezzlement and bribery. That's what you're used to. But the major driver of corruption in Uganda, it's with nepotism, tribalism, and sectarianism. When you're caught in that act, you're a brother to so and so. Therefore, you leave that one. We shall handle. You belong to a certain section of people. You come from a certain region in Uganda. Therefore, you're okay. You are caught in that a corruption scandal. You were even charged. A few years later, you were minister. Are we condemning corruption or condoning corruption?
The latter.
Now, if the president had a goodwill, he would fight it. Now, when I'm speaking about such a thing, especially on corruption, I limit myself, especially when I'm here. I limit myself to. I don't want to go political
space.
But I can summarize this and say it is only the goodwill that is lacking to fight corruption. Otherwise, we can fight corruption. We can reduce. Because you cannot tell me the first report IGG read to Parliament, that was 2020, he said we lose 20 trillion a year. Recently he said we are losing 11 trillion. This is quarter a budget. Just look at our budget now, it's going to be 52 trillion. Deduct 11 trillion. And I told you, we only have 4 trillion shillings for development. But you're going to lose 11 trillion. Now, are we moving forward or? So I see our country being fixated. We are at a stage where actually we cannot move. We have the zeal, we have the urge, everything we have, but we can't move a step. Why? There's no goodwill.
Okay.
There's no goodwill.
Now my last concern as we are summing up here, our security. Security is one of our priorities every financial year. You've mentioned that it should be priority. This year, we've reported at least a case every week in the last 2 months.
Oh.
A case regarding gun violence. And of course, and surprisingly, this gun violence is rotating around money issues.
Rotating around money issues?
Money issues. One,
really?
The state minister who was shot down by the bodyguard, one was because of failure to be paid. He was demanding. Then the gentleman who the Indian, it was because of the interest rate, saying that they were giving him unrealistic interest. His loan was piling every other week. Then the other case in Kalisizo, just last week, the two weren't killed, but millions were stolen from the people who were balancing money during that time. Now we have people with guns in the country. This is really becoming
as a country
concern.
We are experiencing an economic strain. We have economic hardships. They are pinching. Actually, when I find you putting a nice jacket, I feel like it should be mine.
And you feel like, how do I get it?
Yes. You see someone driving a good car, you feel like that would be mine. You know, how do I get it? And you have no hope of getting one because all the avenues you feel they are closed. I told you of the monopolization of businesses in Uganda. When you go to mining, you find Indians there and Chinese. You go fishing, Chinese have taken over. You go to rice, Indians are actually Chinese again, and a few individuals close to the first family. They are doing trading of rice, especially from Tanzania. You go to normal trading, ring long, these tires. Somebody's given a monopoly. You go to milk and meat, somebody is in charge of that. You do it. You go to Vitenji, the Vitenji, somebody is in charge of that. Now, where do you go? You go to Vanilla, there is somebody who is supposed to deal with that. Now, you are left with a narrow, something small where you can do a business. That's why you see many of the youth are riding border borders, and these border borders are on loan. Now,
and the like.
Yes, and it's deliberate, by the way. So people are stressed, extremely stressed. When we are transiting from COVID, I think, again, I was on the show here, and I told you that one of the programs we should implement is sort of rehabilitating people mentally because of the strain, because of the hardships people have gone through. They need to be brought back to normal. It should be a deliberate program by the government, but such a thing was never done. When you go to the security agencies, they are meagerly paid. They are stressed. The prices of everything is high. They are meagerly paid. How do they survive? So something small, somebody's off. Is going to kill. People are stressed. So we have to look at this issue. And now, we should come up with the programs that can enable, that can actually rehabilitate these people. Let us counsel these people. For security in particular, the army, the police, these security guards, they should have periodic programs. People are stressed. Their salaries are too low. They cannot afford the basics of life. So because of that stress, and the only thing they have, the only stick they have, the only solution they have is their gun. The gun is the answer for them to everything. Every question they have, the answer is the gun. So we should have some good programs for them, designed for them, that can reinforce, that can motivate these people to come back to normal. They can know how to live in such hardships. And the unfortunate thing is, our leaders are living in heaven. They are detached to the ground. They don't know what's happening. They don't know. Yesterday I was at Parliament. I left Parliament at around 10 in the evening, at night, yesterday. But you know what was there? The taboo. I mean, there was the feast. People were just sharing money. You see them going out with the envelopes. A certain girl comes, yes, how are you, sir, blah, blah, an envelope. That one goes, another one like that. We have been parking with a certain hotel somewhere. But somewhere. He told him, now just park here, let's be here, you observe what is happening. If these people who are handsomely paid are given more tokens for political purposes, think of this ordinary person who is paid 400,000 shillings to survive. You are paid 35 million. You can't survive on that. How can somebody survive on 200? You are living lavish life. And another, actually, these are, we have two extreme people living at extremes. Another at the extreme luxury, another at the extreme, whatever. So that kind of situation really puts our people, especially the security people, personnel, in a way that they feel the only solution they can have is to use the gun. You quarrel with that person a bit because he's obsessed, he's off, he's stressed. So why can't I shoot this one? That's the solution. So I think security commanders or bosses should come up with clear programs for their people. Ever since we transited from the COVID, not only the security personnel, but even we, the economy is it's biting, it's pinching really. So that's why even the accidents are many on the road. Because someone is driving, but is thinking of how the bank is taking away, is selling his house. Somebody is driving, but the children are still seated at home. So before you know, somebody has knocked. So people are stressed. Either the government should design programs, they pay you people, they pay the TVs to have such counseling, such rehabilitating programs, you know, once in a while, so that we can bring back people in normal senses. Otherwise, the economy is hard hitting.
In a minute, your final remarks as we're winding up with our conversations here.
Wow. I'm grateful I've been here.
Okay.
But it's very unfortunate that we normally come, we discuss, but a few things are taken note of by the relevant people because you always talk. But it's like we're talking to dead people. They don't listen.
They give us
until when something bad happens, then they wake up. But I think such programs are good, and I would appeal to whoever is responsible, at least to borrow a leaf, to pick something out of these programs. Because we're not in government, and we can ably see what is happening. So I think it's important to pay attention to what we deliberate upon and the way the solutions we provide. At least we can have a change, because a change, one, it's continuous and it's collective. It's not someone who is it's not a one-man show. It should be an inclusive, and I think we can pick from there. We can pick from there. But I'm grateful for our viewers. I'm grateful for the management and you in particular. Actually, I'm pleased the way you conduct the program. Okay, I like it.
Many thanks for joining us, and pleasure is ours to hosting you this evening. And of course, that is Mr. Moses Matavu, who is Matavu Moses, who is the public relations officer at NID Uganda. Our discussions were rotating around economic development. Furthermore, looking at the backdrop of what the president has highlighted this afternoon while addressing the country. Well, besides that, with 7 minutes to the top of the hour, coming up is Business Today with Rona Nahabwe, as she will be breaking down all these business reports that have made headlines throughout the day, including the State of the Nation address. So stick around to Smart 24 TV as we continue to drive your business. Good evening.